Hey Tornadoes, welcome to this instructional video for your dynamic warm-up. This video is supposed to serve for both kind of a guide for how we do our dynamic warm-up for cross country and track. And we're gonna go through some of our core different exercises that we do, so you can do these either on your own or you'll kind of know what to do before the season starts. We have several purposes in doing a dynamic warm-up every day before practice. Most importantly, we want to get your body ready to perform and compete. We want to get you so where your muscles are firing and feeling more explosive, and you're warmed up and ready to go physically and mentally. Second, we want to make sure we prevent injury. So, we're not warming up properly and you're running hard with muscles and everything that aren't loose and ready to go, you could hurt yourself. So that's another big part of this. And third, these exercises should actually help you get faster, more explosive, become a more efficient runner. We're really focusing on efficiency and how you move and how you keep your motion going forward. And it's just going to make you stronger and an overall better athlete. So this warm-up is designed to be useful for all sports, but especially we're going to focus on what we do for cross country and track in this video. And we have joining us today to demonstrate, be our model of good form. This is Lucas Holdren.
Hi guys.
Lucas is a former Anthony Middle School Tornado cross country and track star, and he will be a freshman at K-State this fall, competing on the track and cross country team there. So we are going to start with some of what I call our ABC complex. All right, first we're going to start with kind of our ABC complex. Typically if you haven't, we usually jog a little bit before we even start this stuff, so your body's kind of ready to go. So go jog a lap or something before you start this. For the A march form, we want 90-degree angles here almost. 90 degrees with the knee, 90 degrees with the arms even a little bit, especially if you're a sprinter. And I want you to see what Lucas is doing with his toes here. This is called a dorsiflex. Lucas, show us not a dorsiflex if you can really quick. So now his foot's down, now he's dorsiflexing when he comes up here, so that he's using his lower leg muscles to pull his toe up to point towards his knee. But we want good hip height, good knee height, dorsiflexion of the foot to create more power. And now Lucas is going to start doing our A march. So this is nice and slow. And he's getting knee up to hip level. And you'll see he's really coming up on the balls of his feet as he finishes that. All right, now Lucas is doing A skips. Same motion as A march, but now we got a little skip with it. So being a little more dynamic, a little more aggressive with the speed there. Now Lucas is doing B skips. You still got that knee to hip level extension, but now you're kicking out and kind of pawing the ground with the ball of your foot when you come down. All right, now Lucas is doing what we call C skips. I love these. Sometimes you can call these hoedowns or something, but he gets that rhythm there. He's doing knees up again and then out to the side. So your knees coming up straight first and then bringing it out to the side. All right, now, as you get better at C skips, you'll get a little rhythm. So Lucas is going, what I always say in my head is up together, out together, up together, out together. So bring my knee up, then bring my feet together, bring my knee out, and then bring it together again. So I just say that in my head, up together, out together. All right, now Lucas is gonna show us high knees. I want you to see how his torso, his upper body stays straight up and down. His head is straight ahead, still keeping about a 90-degree angle there with his arms and his legs. High knees are basically kind of like an A run. All right, so from the high knee, one thing I really like is high knee butt kickers. Maybe you've done butt kickers in the past where you just bring your leg up to your butt like this underneath, and that is okay, but really when we run, we don't really run like that. So we really want to work on hip extension here, just like you're doing a high knee. So Lucas is going to show us, he's going to bring his knee up 90, and notice how his foot stays behind him. He's not bringing it back behind him, it's just coming straight up to his butt. His heel's coming straight up to his butt. Imagine there's a pane of glass back here behind you, and you don't want to kick through and break it. So the motion here is just your heel coming straight up to your butt, and it's going to force you to really engage your hip flexor and use that power to get up there. All right, we're going to watch Lucas do it at full speed. Okay, now we're going to do some side shuffle jacks. And what we want to do here is cross our hands at the top and the bottom, kind of like you're doing a full super jumping jack. And because as we run, we're always running forward. So sometimes you want to change things up and do some lateral motion because you have all those other leg muscles and things they need to be exercised as well, and they're going to provide more stability and help prevent injury if they're stronger for when you are just running forward. So we're doing sideways motion here, crossing at the top and the bottom. So we'll do shuffle jacks going both directions, forward and back. So you work both directions on your legs. Now we'll do another lateral motion one. We're gonna do karaoke. Some of you are familiar with. Fun fact, karaoke is spelled C-A-R-I-O-C-A, not like the Japanese singing one. And Lucas is gonna demonstrate two ways to do it. First, I'm gonna have him show you just the regular karaoke without the back leg action. So notice he's just kind of rotating right in front of left, left in front of right. So again, lateral motion here, moving his arms, keeping his core tight. Now when I have him go back, he's gonna face the same way, but on this one, I want him to kind of demonstrate an explosive back leg motion where he's gonna bring that back leg up over his front knee. So he's gonna pop like that. So we get some more power from the hip flexor there. He's bringing his back foot in front of his front knee when he does that. All right, now that we're pretty warmed up, we're gonna do one of my favorites. These are walking toe touches, sometimes called Frankensteins, sometimes called tin soldiers, sometimes called Russian twist. But the idea here is we're working our hamstrings. We're working on getting our hamstrings stretched out and ready to go. I don't want you to do these early in your warm-up. Do these after you've done some other stuff when your legs are already kind of warm. So Lucas will demonstrate here. But what we want is keep your body up and down. Opposite hand, opposite toe. If you do same hand, same toe, you might fall over. But keep your core tight, nice balance there. Lucas is keeping his knee pretty straight. A lot of you may not be able to get quite as high as he can as you're building your flexibility, but that's what we're looking for there, a good stretch to the hamstring. Now ankle poppers. So with ankle poppers, typically you would bend your knees, but on ankle poppers, you're gonna keep your legs relatively straight. You're gonna stay up on the balls of your feet, and we're gonna work that dorsiflexion where you're lifting your toes up towards your knees. So we're trying to strengthen your lower leg muscles here a lot and your lower tendons. So Lucas will demonstrate up on the balls of his feet there. When he comes up, he's pointing his toes towards his knees, keeping that good arm motion. All right, Lucas is gonna show you ankle poppers again, but watch his arms on this part. Whenever we run, we want our arms, right here at our sides, driving us forward, not across the body like this. So we're keeping our arm motion, brushing our hips, bringing our elbows back behind to drive us forward. So as Lucas does ankle poppers this time, watch where his arms are. His arms nice on the side of his body, driving him forward. All right, we've been talking about how when we warm up, we want to move our body in different ways than maybe we would sometimes when we're competing. Here's a great example of that. I love running backwards and moving backwards to help my knees and other muscle groups. I think it's good that you mix this in with your workout and cool down and everything because we're always going forward and your muscles are always working to do that. So sometimes it's good to change it up and help them out and go a different direction. So Lucas is going to demonstrate two backwards runs here. This is kind of a regular backwards run, almost kind of a shuffle, not going super fast here. You always want to make sure you know what's behind you when you do this. So that's one version. Now he's going to show you a little bit more of a dynamic version where he's going to extend his foot back behind him. He brings his heel up to his butt and then he reaches out behind. That is good for your hip flexors. Just makes it a little more dynamic of an exercise. All right, now we're going to do what I call backwards hip skips. They're also called open gates sometimes. So again, you're going backwards with these, but you're working on that hip flexibility. So Lucas is going to show you, he's bringing his knee up and out to the side. These are great, excellent for hip flexibility. Really loosen up those hips. So much power and speed comes from our hips, so we want to make sure they are ready to go. All right, now we're just doing your basic lunge. Notice how Lucas keeps his torso nice and up and down, not leaning too far forward, too far back. I always kind of suggest keeping the weight in the heel of your front leg as you come down and push off of that. We are working now, he's going to add a little twist to it. So once you get good at the regular lunge, add a little twist there. Work your obliques and things too. Nice and slow on these. This is not a rush. Keep your body under control. Now sideways lunge coming back. One thing on the forward lunge before we do sideways lunge is lots of times people will say keep the knee behind your toe. I'm okay either way because I think there's some science out there. If you go forward some a little bit too, you can actually make your knee stronger. So either way, but if you're a little weaker at first, I recommend keeping that knee behind the toe like they teach you in PE class. All right, sideways lunges. Now we got our feet pointed out straight ahead of us. Lucas is gonna rotate both ways and lean both ways so he gets a little work. Now this is really good for our groins. You can feel this in your groin some, probably some of your tendons around your knees too as you're going down and up. So again, weight kind of in the heels on these and doing it low and slowly so you get a good stretch, build some good strength. Cross country requires us to run on a lot of different terrain, and so your feet are going to move in some weird directions. They're not always moving straight ahead like we want them to. So we need to strengthen up those lower leg tendons. So we do what's called penguins and zombie walks to help with that. And we're also going to do some different stuff to strengthen our lower feet. So Lucas, show us penguins first. With a penguin, we point our feet out, walk like a penguin would shuffle on the ice. We're pointing our feet as outward as far as we can. Now we're gonna switch and do zombie walks. So now we look like a zombie, our feet are pointed in. You can even get your elbows all up weird like a zombie, get a little drool going if you want to. But yeah, you're gonna look like you're in a Michael Jackson music video. We're gonna do just calf raises. We're gonna walk on our toes. Again, trying to strengthen our calves, our Achilles, our lower leg muscles there. So just toe walks here. Then I'm gonna have Lucas switch and do heel walks now, walking on our heels. So we're pointing our toes up towards our knees, but nice and slow though. And you should feel this down around your shins. If you get shin splints, stuff like this will help because we're strengthening those lower leg muscles and tendons. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is karate kicks. These are kind of fun. This is another one I don't want you to do early in your dynamic warm-up. Do it after you're pretty warm. Again, we're working our hamstrings, but this is a pretty explosive one. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna bring your knee up to your chest and you're gonna kick out, and you're gonna give a big karate chop when you do it. So kind of fun. Yeah, make your best karate kid sound effect. So knee to your chest, kick out. Notice how Lucas gets his knee up first, then kicks out. This is good for your explosiveness and for your hamstring.